Hi there, this is Shrikant Dasari. So in this lesson we are going to learn about basics of arrays. Okay, so the array is defined as a sequential collection of similar type of data which is of fixed size. Okay, so there are two types of arrays. One is one dimensional and the other one is multi-dimensional. So in this lesson we are going to look on one dimensional array. So let me launch the IDE. So which is Visual C++ 2005 Express Edition, as we are using in all other previous tutorials. So here we have created a project under the name array which contains the file array.c. Okay, so all the basic stuff has been typed previously, header files and main and everything. Okay, so as we have learned that the array is a fixed size, and collection of a similar type of data. Okay, so the main usage of arrays comes when, so if you want to store some 10 numbers in a program. Okay, so without using arrays you would do something like this. You might take 10 variables like this, num1, num2 and num3 and so on like this. Okay, and so on until num10. Okay, so this is not a good programming practice to take 10 different variables to store 10 different values. Okay, so what happens if you want to store 100 values in a program? Okay, so you can't take num100. Okay, so 1 to 100 you cannot take like this, and you can't just keep on initializing the values like num1 is equal to 0 and num2 is equal to 0, num2 is equal to 1 and so on like this. Okay, so this is not a good programming practice and this is a very tedious process. Okay, so in order to overcome all these drawbacks, in C we have arrays in C. Okay, so the declaration of an array is going to be like this: data type followed by name of the array. So here we can say the name of an array as array. Okay, and size of an array. Okay, so here so let us say our size of an array be 10. Okay, it should be enclosed in a square bracket here. Okay, so this statement tells the compiler that the user or programmer want to have an array of size 10, okay, of type integer. Okay, so this array is capable of holding 10 different values, or you can say 10 integer values, since we have taken the array as an integer array here. Okay, so if you want to initialize an array with the data, so one thing we have to remember is that the index of an array starts from 0 in C. Okay, the index of an array, array starts from 0. Okay, so that means that, so if you want to initialize the starting element of an array variable with some value, you need to say something like this. Okay, so array of 0 is equal to 1. This initializes the value of the starting element of an array, which is 0th element to 1. Okay, so this works, the initialization works this way. So let us take a for loop here. Okay, to make the process easier, so let us run a for loop here, I less than 10 and I plus plus. So, okay, so with the help of for loop, here we are going to initialize the array with the values. Okay, so simply you can say like this: array of I is equal to some I plus 1. Okay, so here our intention in this statement is to store the subscript is for the first time of the loop, the subscript would be 0. Okay, so for the 0th element in the array, we are storing the value I plus 1, which is 1. Okay, the 1 will be stored in the 0th position, and until the loop executes, our array gets filled. Okay, so let us take another for loop to just print those values. Okay, so let's have a printf statement here. So let us say something like this. So %t. Okay, so we are using this pattern to have a better understanding how the array's contents, to show the contents of the array. Okay, so %t. Okay, and I comma array of I. So let's have a small message here at the beginning to show that so these are the contents of the array. The contents of array, simply a small message to show. Okay, so now if you save and run the program, just we have an error, a small error, that we didn't declare the variable I, which we are using in the for loop here. Okay, so now if you see the output of the program, just we have taken two for loops here. The first one initializes the array. Okay, initialize the array with some data. Okay, so the second for loop prints the contents of the array. Okay, so prints the contents of the array. Okay, so here so if you see the output carefully, okay, just a second. So if you see the output here, so here our first for loop initializes the value that fills the array with some content. Okay, that content is nothing but the numbers from 1 to 10 here. Okay, so each time for each instance the loop runs here, every time the value of I gets added to 1 and stored in our simple array. Okay, so in the next for loop, just we have taken a simple printf statement, and we are showing the contents of array so such that I am printing the index. Okay, so if you see the output here, so for the 0th instance, the value of array is 1 and 2 and so on. All the values gets printed which were stored in the array previously. Okay, so this is the basic stuff about understanding about arrays. Okay, so the declaration of an array goes like this: data type followed by the name of the array and size. Here we have taken the size of an array as 10. Okay, so and then we have filled our array with some data. The data is nothing but 1 to 10 numbers here. We have taken a for loop to make the process of filling the array with ease. Okay, so in the same way we have taken another for loop and just print the values of values which were stored in the array. Okay, so this is the basic stuff about one-dimensional array in C. So see you in the next lesson. Goodbye.